Jane Smith and Ashia Berry. They're president and vice president. They are...
There we go.
Magpies and Peacocks is a nonprofit design house dedicated to diverting post-consumer textiles from landfill, educating on responsible consumption, sustainability, and zero waste design. Their model rests on 4 pillars: collaborate, create, educate, and invest, building creative connections between businesses, donors, artists, designers, educators, consumers, and nonprofits. Guys, come over and listen to what these ladies have to say. They have a lot of cool stuff to say about sustainable energy and fashion. Thank you so much. Welcome to them to the stage.
Oh my God, thank you for that beautiful welcome. We're excited. We feel famous about that. So as she said, we are Magpies and Peacocks. We are a 501c3 nonprofit design house. People donate items to us. They're post-consumer textiles, everything from clothing, jewelry, furniture, scraps of both the fabric and leather, and we upcycle it into something fabulous. And as we upcycle it into something fabulous, we also teach the next generation of artists and emerging designers how to be sustainable, not only in their design, but in their business. So, what's a magpie and what's a peacock? Because everybody loves the name, but they're like, what is that? So a magpie is indigenous to the UK, where our founder, Sarah Jane Smith, is from. And a magpie looks like our small black crow in America. Magpies love to search for things. Everything from shiny and sparkling to I'm just having a day out and I see this on the ground. So when people are donating and we're collecting, we're in magpie mode. When we upcycle it and turn it into something new, or refurbish something that's vintage and heirloom, we're in peacock mode. You get it? Magpies and peacocks. So from beautiful to even more beautiful. So that's just a little bit about who we are. We got started 7 years ago. In those 7 years, we've collected over 150,000 pounds in textiles and made use with it by turning it into new products, giving it another life, and working with the scoops. Sarah Jane had a very successful career in interior design, and she was in the closets of people and wondering, what are they doing with the waste? And people wanted to have a solution. It wasn't necessarily appropriate for Goodwill or Salvation Army. They had their power for that. But then they had some really nice things, some vintage things, and like, what am I supposed to do with this? And that's when she had her Oprah's aha light bulb moment. So we upcycle these things because aesthetics are the message. The earrings I have on, the rings I have on, that's how we get the message out. But we're really about the cause and why we upcycle. Everybody loves the story. They're like, oh great, you turned my shirt into this. But why we did it, it's really important. And that's what's important for Earth Day. It's about the environment. So, did anybody know that fashion was second to the oil industry as a pollutant? No. Most people don't think about that. But think about all the chemicals that are involved in making our clothing. And so for us, that was huge. That fashion, which we love, was also the second pollutant in the world to the oil industry. It's pretty big. It's also employed by 85% women, but they are working in horrible conditions and lowly paid. And that was huge for us as 2 girls running a nonprofit about sustainable fashion. So I'm going to bring Sarah Jane up, and we're going to talk, she and I, a little bit more about why we do what we do and why it's important and how to shape the next generation of talented but sustainable fashion designers. Sarah Jane?
Okay, so she's the girl who likes the microphone. I am not. But the most important thing about being a team when it comes is we all have a voice in this and we all have influence on this. And influence is the biggest impact factor to a day like today where we all speak to each other and we're all part of solutions. However small or large we play, our impact, our dollars, our opinions, our activism are what make the changes. They stop these roller coasters and they turn them round and make a difference. One of our favorite statistics is 85%. 85% is a lot. And it is also the amount of all of our clothing, everybody here, everybody, your friends, your family, everything you're wearing now, everything in your wardrobe at home, everyone you ever stood next to at a concert, sat next to in a restaurant, 85% of everything we wear goes to landfill. That's a huge amount, and that's such a massive waste of resources. All of those fabrics are nowhere near end of life, and some of them are not biodegradable. Everything from a nylon, a polyester, all those things that you know and love, that are easy, that don't get wrinkled, that are simply cheap and cheerful, those things are not biodegradable. So it's our responsibility to do something useful. So we're looking at solutions long term, not only from young designers, but from existing designers, makers, industry professionals, to change the way that we do business in textiles. So that's my favorite statistic.
And my favorite statistic is how to grow that 15% that we do recycle and upcycle. Again, we work with the schools, everyone from FIT in New York to AIH and HCC here, on teaching that next generation how to start off sustainable and just teaching individuals. We are proud to say we're not snobs about it. We understand it's an education thing. A lot of information people don't know. 34 times, everybody knows the Empire State Building, right? We have 34 to 35 times the size of the Empire State Building in waste. Other thing is, other countries are getting ready to outlaw us shipping our waste to their countries. East Asia, Africa. We won't be able to send our goods, quote unquote, our textile trash anymore. So we have to have a solution. Oftentimes, we tell people we're big fans of Goodwill and Salvation Army because their mission is employment, and they do a great job of that. Their mission is not necessarily what you would think when you donate your clothes. They do sell a huge percentage of that, but their mission is employment. So we work with them and other organizations on how can we get this upcycled and recycled. We also are killing the artisan economies in Africa and Asia and these other countries where we're not only dumping our trash there, we're then getting the fast fashion, which doesn't last long, made over there. So it's getting shipped to us, and we're wearing it 3 or 4 times when we should be wearing it 30 plus times. Then we're getting rid of it and shipping it back. And that's just not cool. So this is why circular economy is huge for us. Right now we're on a linear.
So we'll give you a little short-term version. A linear economy is currently what we're doing. We take, make, dispose. Take it as raw materials from the earth, make something of it, dispose of it. The really only major solution we have to this is to change that to something circular, so that we are taking, making, reusing, but trying to drop out the take aspect, so that we're using what we already had as a resource for what we need moving ahead. Textiles is such an easy example of that, because that raw material that is in the clothing that we already have is infinitely reusable. So for us, that circular economy aspect, and it applies all the way through manufacturing. If you think of a car or a phone or a washing machine, where we have been made the people who are responsible to dispose of those items. We don't know what to do with them. We don't know how those raw materials could be reused. But if the manufacturers took responsibility of those things, how much easier it would be to know that the phone that you gave back to the manufacturer was going to be part of the phone that you bought in the future, as opposed to it being your responsibility to get rid of. There's just identifying and changing the route of our products. That really just means a responsibility from the top down. That doesn't mean to say that we aren't responsible from the bottom up, because our dollars are super important when we vote with them, when we purchase, buying ethical or sustainable products. There's lots of reasons why it is now important to do that, and the biggest reason is that we are running out of resources and running out of ways how to deal with the problem that we have.
So, and there is hope. I know we've given you a lot of stats on why it's wrong and what we need to do better. We'll start off in February of this year. We showed at London Fashion Week, which is super prestigious, with a zero waste collection. It was all with materials donated to our nonprofit design house. Our executive board member and artist in nesting, Renee Garza, he upcycled it. He used every piece. We were covered by Women's Wear Daily, which is like the fashion Bible, WWD, British Vogue, Italian Vogue, and several other people. That's not about bragging about us. It's about bragging about Houston. Yes, the oil and gas capital of the world actually showed a zero waste upcycled collection at London that was super successful. We've gone on to exhibit with the Houston Arts Alliance as their first grantees, to exhibit as their gala, and it is catching on. We've done a better job as a country with plastics and glass and food, which is why we love Earth Day. Tesla, we love. Electronic cars, we've gotten that. And now we're slowly moving into textiles, and it will catch on. It's catching on worldwide. This month makes the 5-year anniversary of Rena Plaza. Rena Plaza was where there was a factory, a textile factory making fast fashion, and it collapsed. They had warnings for a long time, and over 1,500 people were killed. Well, unfortunately, the 1,500 people were killed, but media-wise, it brought attention to the problem with fast fashion and not being sustainable in the fashion industry. It also spawned the documentary True Cost, which is, I advise you, it's on Netflix now. Take the time, download it, watch it. It makes a whole difference in your life. We obviously have people such as Stella McCartney, Carrie Sommers, Emma Watson, Colin's wife, our girl we love. I can't think of her name. Olivia Furt. All these people behind it, and it's really catching on. Even Beyonce's mom, she has a wearable art gala, and it's about the art and the sustainability, so it's catching on. And so we'll kind of wrap it up and end with our challenge, which is easy, because if each of us do one thing, don't buy the plastic bottle of water, get glass or refill, look at an electronic car. From our nonprofit, we ask you from this day forward in 2018, the next time you purchase a piece of clothing or accessory or even a piece of furniture, think about something in particular with the clothing and accessories that you're going to wear at least 35 times. And then after the 35 times, think about 10 to 20 more times that you can wear it in a different route. You can tag us on Instagram at Magpies Peacocks. It's really simple. Show us your picture. We may or may not have a surprise for you. But think about the next time you go out and buy something. Can I wear this 35 times? And if you can, you're on the road to help us and our environment, our next generation from kids, nieces, and nephews on being a more sustainable environment. We don't have much of a choice. This is not like something we're just deciding to do. This is what the environment is telling us. If we don't protect it, it will no longer protect us.
Next week is Fashion Revolution Week. Many of you probably don't know about Fashion Revolution Week, but that's not only is this Earth Day, it's been Earth Month for us. So we've been boring everybody with this all month long. But next week we're going to be posting all about what we've done this month, so keep an eye out on social media. But Fashion Revolution Month, take a look at your closets, take a look at what you repeat buy, take a look at the things that you buy because they were just cheap. Also take a look at the things you get for free, Run for a Cure shirts, all of those things, all of the cheap things that we end up getting which are just landfill fodder. Figure out what you are not going to just pick up because it's free or cheap. Don't be part of the problem. Just step up and be happily part of the solution. I think that's it, right?
Yeah, and remember, when we upcycle, it's not necessarily like a craft project. These earrings are from scraps of leather donated to us. This ring, our designer worked with metal that was this to her. Same thing with Sarah Jane. This is what it looks like. It doesn't look like, your craft project from 5th grade. It actually looks real and it looks good. Everything we have on, we can honestly say came out of inventory at Magpies and Peacocks. So at Magpies and Peacocks on Instagram, we're on Facebook and Twitter. Follow us. Any questions? And definitely remember us the next time you're cleaning out your closet, whatever it is. We always have coffee, wine, beer, and water at the warehouse. We're right over here in Edo, so give us a holler and stop by. Thank you all so much. Thank you to Discovery Green, COE, Earth Day. We love you guys, and thanks for having us as a guest.
Guys, give it up one more time for Aishia and